no days off, 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 no days off.
Homicide, yeah, right. It ain't no bail on a homicide. Right? If I gotta lay something down, I gotta be prepared to rumble that case from behind the gate. Is anybody out there? It's not cool. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna get to the culture and philosophy. This is my part of it. First, again, I want to thank everybody for coming out. I want to make sure that everybody links up with the instructors, attorneys, everybody. If you have a business, if you do something, if you're starting a business, please make sure y'all are passing each other's contact around, link up, communicate. Don't let this just be church. Come here, feel good, and then don't follow through. You know what I'm saying? So, or maybe some people do follow through in church. I did when I was going. Culture and philosophy. Y'all gonna have questions. It's gonna be straight Q&A. So if you got a question, just ask me. Don't get quiet, because now you're just not gonna say nothing, because I'm straightforward. I might cuss a little bit. It's cool. First question. Told you, quiet.
So earlier they were talking about sovereignty,
Yeah.
and how that affects this situation. The young lady up front was asking that question. So could you kind of fill the people in on that, or what you may know about that?
Yeah, as far as sovereignty, you know, Ivan Van Sertima wrote a real good book called They Came Before Columbus. You know what I mean? So, number one, you should check that out. Two, me personally, my belief, and I say belief because it's not knowledge, it's what I believe. My belief is you can choose whatever identity or label you want for yourself. You know what I'm saying? If your position or your philosophical component line is more in alignment with Moorish science, you should be a part of that. If you're Washington, whatever, excuse me. If you want to say American citizen, for me what works the most effective is this matrix has a thing called rules. And those rules, I'm going to use them to bend to my benefit. So if I go American citizen, okay, I fit, I got a passport, I fit that. Regardless of, some people say black is legally has no standing at law, it means dead, okay, cool. So if I use American citizen, excuse me again. If I use American citizen, if I use whichever one is most productive for my scenario or my situation, then so be it. The only drawback that I've personally experienced or seen with Moorish American and law is the same thing that I run across with firearms law. Most law enforcement officers do not know treaty law. They just don't. So they go, you know, well, here's my license that's, you know, a Moorish American ID. And they go, well, this isn't a driver's license. If you're willing to rumble those things all the way out in court, because that's where the rumble happens at, do not get into a rumble with a law enforcement officer on the side of the road. You're going to lose. You know what I'm saying? Rumble them. I believe in catching people in my paper trail, like Spider-Man, and now you're in the web, and I got you. You know, so, but the label in and of itself, whichever one works the best for you, that's what I would recommend that you utilize.
Okay, but that's what I was going to say. So that would be renouncing your citizenship?
Now, that's another thing, right? Because to me, now again, I'm not an attorney, but to me, if you're saying I'm not a citizen of America for whatever reasons, and if the state of Michigan says, well, if you renounce your citizenship, you can't. Well, this is our license that we're licensing you to do this thing, and if you're not a part of this thing, then that's our thing. So bye. You know what I'm saying? So for me, that can get tricky. I mean, and anything can be. When there's not a precedent set for it, you can set the precedent, but you're just going to have to rumble that all the way maybe up to that state Supreme Court level. Me personally, that's why I've had friends who was talking the Moorish thing, and then they get to jail, and it's like, well, I'm Moorish, da-da-da-da, I shouldn't be able to, and that's cool. We still need that bail money, though. You know what I'm saying? For me, what works most effectively in this space, what people respond to the most, in my experience, is money and violence. And whichever way I got to structure the money, which is, okay, if we collectively say, okay, we're not going to Walmart until this firearm law is changed, then Walmart will lean on state government because they got more money. And these things can happen. It's just you got to be organized and informed and translate the ideas to your community, how it benefits for the community, and what we're gaining by not doing this particular thing. You know, and whichever label you choose to do, I personally believe that the labels is what creates labels without objective understanding for a goal creates separation. So if I run into my Muslim homies and everybody thinks I'm Muslim because I got a beard, so they go, Assalamu alaikum, and I'll say, alaikum assalam. That's their greeting. I'll be well versed in their language. When I run into my Christian homies, praise Jesus, okay, cool. Boom. Whatever it is, I believe in being well versed and communicating with each person for their box that they choose for themselves without judging them negatively. And how that ties into the Second Amendment is because when we start shooting, if necessary, I'm not going to stop. Oh, well, he's Moorish, so these bullets don't go there. That's stupid. So for me, that's how it works the best.
May I express
Yeah,
that?
sure.
There's only two things that they recognize in this country. You're either a public person or you're a private.
Right.
And so if you have some guns or you want to have whatever property, you have to put your property in private capacity so that it's protected, like in a trust, a private trust.
Can you speak up a little bit, can you?
I was saying that we only have two ways of living in this country. You're either public or private. You can see that on your dollar bill. It says for all either public or private debts or tendered, you pay. So you're either public or private. In the public capacity, they have total control over everything regarding you. But in a private capacity, you can put your gun, your home, your property in a private trust where it's untouchable. And that includes your gun.
Now, again, all of this stuff is personal choice, but at the end of the day, for me, as a Second Amendment person, when I'm interacting with the foot soldier for that particular regime, law enforcement officer, I accept that that law enforcement officer has none of this information. They probably don't. So with that being the case, I want to deal with them in the most productive manner. It's not my job to convince him or her. My job is to make it home. You know what I'm saying? So trying to tell them the facts of the matter, I'm not there to educate them. I'm there to, because I don't want to. I mean, you're a law enforcement officer. You're not there to protect and serve. You're there to enforce the little bit of laws that you do know. You know what I'm saying? Any rumble that I have with them, I'll rumble that in court. Court is where you could beat them all the way up and they get mad. They get so mad. Because if they were being wrong, they hate it. They hate when somebody's informed and willing, oh, okay, cool, sorry. I see you. You know what I mean? Some of the things that I do is like I'll change, officers get a particular day is their court day. My court day is Thursday type thing. I'll initially go, I need a continuance. Take them off their schedule a little bit. Now you got to remember the thing that you were supposed to lie about on the day that you ain't even supposed to be there. Just little information that can just, I do not take plea deals. I do not take plea deals. Jury trial. Jury trial. We're going to exhaust all of the resources. We're going to fight this all the way out. You know what I'm saying? And that's the other part of being holistic. You can't just be informed about Second Amendment law. The other part of it is going to court if need be. You cannot just pick one, or you can, but you kind of like just bitching. You know what I mean? If you just do this one part and this whole other part over here, you're not really trying to rumble. It's a holistic rumble. Go ahead,
I was just wondering what you were saying about the taking the court and then the private thing and everything too, and continuous. It goes both ways,
right?
Because if you get into it with the feds, they can have you in court for 10, 15
Years. Yeah.
And who has the money to do that?
Aha, and that's the key. That's the key there is they'll try to weigh you down. It's like when you're in the interrogation room. Well, some of y'all may have been in the interrogation room.
When they start freezing bank accounts and they start, they went to your job and asked about you, now you fired, and
the twist to that is any rumble that you saying you about, be about that rumble and see it all the way out.
When the feds come, they got you.
Or maybe not.
Not really.
What I'm saying is not with this gun law.
Yeah.
But when they come for other crimes, 9 out of 10 times they finna take you down.
They have fishing. Federal conviction rates are extremely high. That's what the brother's trying to say. I don't take a fight. I don't gamble. If I'm going into this fight, my percentages, the math of it is I probably could win this rumble. If you're not, my personal level of commitment to things is I'm gonna see it all the way out. It could take 10 years. The time gonna pass anyway. I'm gonna just do the rumble. That's my personal level of commitment to things. You have to figure out what your personal level of commitment is to the things that you're talking about. For me, if it means federal court and I know I'm right, and I got plenty of time. But they will, and if you don't have the same, so like I don't work for people. So with that being the case, I have an extreme advantage. Even those federal agents, you want to go to holiday. You want to take a holiday. I don't. I want to be on offense. I want to come attack you now. It's another area that we lose. We always on defense. I want to attack. You know what I'm saying? I'm not back up against the wall. No. And then I'm like, oh, this was the rule now? Okay, cool. Well, here's my continuance. And I'm putting you on notice for this. You damn near got to be a lawyer, too. And I'm not saying that that's replacement for attorneys. I'm saying if you can't articulate your position to your attorney, how can you expect them to defend you? You have to communicate effectively. You have to take meticulous notes. Do not think you're going to remember it. You will not. You're not. I don't remember what I ate today. You know what I'm saying? And you have to make sure that you're informing your counsel and getting information from that counsel, and it's an ebb and flow. It's an ebb and flow. And then you come up with your plan of attack, and then if you lose, I'm on that appeal. My job is to rumble this all the way out, and that's my personal level of commitment. Go ahead, Mark.
That's another reason why they trump up charges. See, you may face a felony, but they're giving you 7 felonies, and you facing life, right?
Right.
Half the fellas, they know they can't stick,
Right.
probably all of them. But the problem is, when you see 7 of them, you're like, ooh, so they come at you and say, yo, I will just drop 6 and give you 1, and then
Right.
you do the minimum, and that's like a year in jail, you're facing 30. Oh, that sounds great, I'll take that year. But you just went through a strain that whole year fighting 7, and you got to the end, and it was like, give you 1 year, and it's like, that sounds great, but really it's not, because you're innocent.
Yeah.
So take it all away, and make them the taxpayers pay.
Right. And here's the other twist to that. When you take a plea bargain is between 2 attorneys. That judge does not have to honor that.
That's true.
All right, y'all made a deal. I didn't agree to that. This is my court. No. A lot of times when you accept that plea deal, you give your right to appeal away. But that's the part of the game that they don't tell you. Now, if the judge just goes, yeah, I ain't feeling that. Sentence you right now. You can't appeal it. The information missing. And what my lawyer said, that's the crapshoot. And you don't have a relationship with that lawyer. It's not a community lawyer. You have built no rapport. What attachment to you do that? You are a number. You know what I'm saying? So all of these key components are very critical. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm saying you got to be well versed and holistic. And you kind of can't really blame nobody else at this point, especially after all of this shit we telling you today. Like, it's just over. You're out. You're stepping out of the matrix. So like now at this point, you kind of just bought that a little bit. But as far as the wear down and not willing to fight, everybody has a position in the army. Some people is just medics. I just tend to the wounds. That's my position. If that's your position, cool. We got a place for you in the army. But don't say you trying to shoot shit up. If you ain't built, just stay tending to the wounds, and we can all win. But you got to see whatever your position is all the way out.
No days off, 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 no days off.